Hey everyone, I missed you guys. I was away for a little bit. I was busy dealing with the slave clique, at work. I recently have been experiencing a rental increase. I moved apartments, so to compensate, I've been working extra hours. And not only that, I've been trying to make friends recently, but it just doesn't work out. I tried to ask a couple of coworkers if they wanted to hang out, and to no avail. I've been asking people here, there, and everywhere, and they would say yes sometimes. Then I'd message them on text or socials, and they just wouldn't get back to me. You know how it is. You put your heart out there on the line, cold approach people and such like, and what do you get in return? Flatline, nothing, zilch, and the such like. Anytime I'm in a social setting, whether it be a lunchroom, at the bar, at a party, I find myself not wanting to socialize with others. I find myself to have a lack of chemistry with others. And so I acknowledge that it would probably be better to remain alone. However, although I feel content in my solitude, I also sometimes feel a longing for something more. This is what I want to talk about in today's video. I don't exactly quite understand how people can live the life of a saint. I have a longing for fellowship, and I struggle with it. I don't know what the expectations are for someone who is raised as a Christian. Sometimes I feel as though morality is inherent. Although the book is a good guide, everybody knows that you shouldn't kill someone else. Everybody knows you shouldn't steal. Everybody knows you shouldn't backstab your fellow human being. Well, perhaps some people don't. As for me, I would have liked to have the decision myself. And I probably would have came to the faith later in my life, but just when it's forced upon you, that causes a whole array of issues, doesn't it? I think morality is inherent, and there's also nothing wrong with God's golden book proving to you that your original assumptions are true. But I don't know how these saints can do it. I don't know how these people who don't have anyone in their life can continuously remain alone without experiencing a need to somehow, some way, get a dopamine rush or something. You fight God's good fight. The power of prayer must be the thing that allows you to stay true in the light of Christ. But recently I've done some quote-unquote bad behaviors, I had 3 hits before I went to bed a couple nights ago, and 2 more hits the next morning over. And I feel bad about it. And I was feeling bad. But I feel better now. And I don't feel the need to do it again, Does Psalms 31 justify this type of situation? Well, I sure hope it does. I tell you, I was going for as long as I can without the need to reach for a substance. Sometimes I feel as though as long as you're not harming yourself or others, what harm are you doing? Perhaps something like having a little smoke of a flower might cause you a bit of harm. But if you consent to that, does it really? It's not something that I'm planning on doing again and again, and perhaps I just have to wean it off slowly. Perhaps I just have to gradually decrease it. And I was going for months without it, but just recently, I was feeling so 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 empty with this life. You know what people have told me in this life? You know what people have told me in the past? Well, life ain't all about making friends. Well, what is this life all about then? Making a lot of money and then dying? Well, life is what you make of it, and I want to make deep and meaningful connections. To me, life ain't all about giving your mind, body, and soul away to benefit someone else's wallet. To me, life should be all about doing something that fulfills your mind, body, and soul. That doesn't happen in this life yet, does it? Even the life of a rock star, even a so-called musician, has guidelines to follow, certain topics to discuss. And if you don't satisfy the management, well then you don't really get pushed. You don't really get popular, do you? There's an algorithm in everything in this world. There's an algorithm to everything. There's no algorithm to love. Oh, tell me, where is the love in this world? Tell you one thing. I am not watching the Olympics this year. I reckon you don't either. Whether you're religious or not, you don't mock others. What are you, a child or something? Need you insult someone else to get a rise out of them to feel better about yourself? As I was taking out the need to smoke for my life, as I was maintaining sobriety, something interesting happened. I started to see demonic entities all over my room at night. I could see these evil spirits staring at me in the shadow realm. And they're just wondering, how can I get them? How can I get them to commit a sin? How can I get them? I don't know what my purpose is in terms of Christianity. I don't know what God wants me to do, what words He wants me to speak on my behalf. But I tell you, sometimes it gets to me. Sometimes the war makes me feel distraught. And if you're a Christian, pray for me. If you're a Christian, I pray for you. Because I understand how difficult it could be to remain a Christian in such a cruel world. When people talk about this life being brutal, it's not a joke. This life is treacherous. And sometimes it feels like ending it all and spending an eternity in hell might be better than another moment of this painful existence. But it's not, and it won't be. Emotions are like waves of the ocean, as I stated before. And when I talk about how I'm not feeling well, I don't want you to be worried about me. This is my life. And I've felt this way about this world ever since I can remember. As a child, I would watch the news with my folks and wonder, what do they get out of this? It's just slop for your mind. A couple good weather forecasts, the occasional local event, the occasional local tragedy that you might want to actually hear about, but beyond that, the news isn't the news. The news is the opposite of the news. The news is misinformation. If you're not feeling well, I urge you to stay confident that better days are ahead of you. If you're not feeling well, I urge you to do whatever you can to cope. I was having a great day at work today. But some days at work, it doesn't feel that dandy. I don't know what the expectations are. I don't know what the expectations are to be a Christian. I try to be so holy. It gets to a point where I don't even know if I should listen to music at the gym when I'm running, even though most of my songs are Christian themed. I feel bad about the littlest things. I can only hope that God forgives me. I can only hope that I can do the right thing, even though I'm not sure what the right thing is to do, because I know in the Bible there's a certain verse that says to sing songs and praise of worship to the Lord. So as long as your message is about praising and worshiping, as long as you're praising and worshiping the Lord through your song or dance, it should be okay. But I feel bad sometimes. I don't know what the right thing to do is. Definitely no, it's not allowing the reptilian serpents to continue to rule over the species. That's for sure. That's all I have to say for tonight. Have a good night, and even better tomorrow. Love you.